What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who countdown video. Today I'm going to be ranking all of Series 2's episodes. So there's 13 episodes in Series 2. I'm not going to be counting Christmas specials. Now before I start, I want to say I was going to do one of these for Series 1, but when I thought about it, when I did my top 10 Ninth Doctor stories, I've really already ranked all of the episodes, you know, because I went over all 10 episodes. Yes, I didn't go over specific parts like I'm going to be doing in this episode, but I really talked about every episode of the Ninth Doctor's era there. So because of that, I'm just going to skip Series 1. We're going to start off with Series 2, so let's get into it. Number 13, Fear Her. Alright, so Fear Her is regarded as one of the worst episodes from Russell T Davies' era as showrunner on Doctor Who, and I have to agree with that. Fear Her is my least favourite in Russell's era, and yeah, I mean, it's just not a particularly interesting episode, I don't think. We basically go to London in 2012, which is cool, because it's one of those episodes that actually just goes slightly in the future of what the show was, you know. It was 2006 on the show at the time, and in real life at the time, so they were only going ahead 6 years. I thought that was a cool concept. However, I don't know, the way that the episode plays out, it's just not very interesting. Basically, there's the London 2012 Olympics, which is kind of just there in the background as a little thing to just have, and then the whole story is about this girl who's drawing like things, and when she draws them, like draws people, they disappear. I don't know, just not a particularly interesting episode. Number 12, Love and Monsters. Right, so this is another one of those episodes that's kind of regarded as one of the worst in the era. Really, we don't focus on the Doctor and Rose really at all in this episode, apart from kind of right at the end and a little bit at the beginning, a little bit throughout the middle as well. But basically, we follow Elton. He had an encounter with the Doctor when he was very young, and basically, he wants to figure out who the Doctor is. He gets this group together, a bunch of other people that want to know more about the Doctor. However, they kind of forget about the Doctor and just kind of become really good friends, this whole group. But then we have the Absorbloff, I can't remember what his name is, the actual character's name is, but it's played by Peter Kay. He ends up being this monster. The main thing that really puts me off this one, and puts pretty much everyone off, is that the Absorbloff is a pretty weird creature. Yes, it was designed by a child, but yeah, it's a little bit weird. However, I think as a non-Doctor story goes, it's not terrible. Number 11, The Idiot's Lantern. Alright, so this is another episode that's not particularly highly regarded, but it's not kind of way down there with Love and Monsters and Fear Her in most people's eyes. It's just kind of a pretty meh episode. One of the main reasons is because I think people don't really like the villain as the Wire, the villain. She's just a very annoying, irritating villain. Put with that, I think the rest of the cast, no one's particularly interesting. We kind of have the Doctor. We have Rose, who is pretty much silent for most of this because she gets turned into one of these faceless monsters. So really, we just kind of have the Doctor, and then the rest of the cast. I mean, the kid's okay. I can't remember his name, but the kid, he's all right. Everyone else, though, kind of just a meh cast. So I think, you know, with the Wire being an annoying villain and the cast being not particularly interesting, that's why this one goes further down. Number 10, New Earth. Alright, so this is the first episode of Series 2. It's the first time we properly get to see David Tennant as a Doctor. I mean, we had him in the Christmas special, The Christmas Invasion, however he wasn't particularly present in that, and this is the first time we properly get to see him with his, you know, with his proper uniform on, with his, well, not uniform, with his proper clothes on, you know, his outfit. However, New Earth, I don't think is a very good way of introducing the Doctor. It's just a bit of a mishmashy episode. We get the return of Cassandra, which I think is pretty cool. We saw her in season 1, so it's pretty cool seeing her back. However, you know, the Doctor and Rose both come off as pretty annoying in this episode. The cat people are okay. I don't mind them, but you know, they're a bit, I don't know, it's an episode that I don't hate as much as some people do seem to. However, it's definitely not an amazing way to start off such a great Doctor's run. Number 9, Tooth and Claw. Alright, so this is where we get to the episodes that I actually do quite enjoy, and you know, the episodes that we've already gone through, I probably would only watch them on kind of Doctor Who reruns, you know, watching through every series, whereas now we're getting to episodes that I'd probably just watch if I felt like it, you know, just randomly once, you know, just randomly watching it. So yeah, Tooth and Claw, it's about a werewolf, which I think is a pretty cool thing to have in Doctor Who. I remember when I was a kid, I was scared shitless of the werewolf. It was just such a scary thing. The transformation animation especially was really terrifying, and you know, maybe it doesn't hold up quite as well today, but you know what, it's not too bad, and it is pretty scary. Having Rose and all the other like maids and whatever stuck down in the basement with the werewolf as it was transforming, it was terrifying. Altogether, it's a pretty good episode. It's not the most interesting, you know, episode altogether, but it's not too bad. Number 8. Rise of the Cybermen. Alright, so we have the first part of the 2-part Cybermen story, which was around about halfway through series 2. I thought the 2-part Cybermen story was pretty decent. It's not the most amazing piece of television or the most amazing piece of Doctor Who, but I think it's still a pretty good one. The reason why I put part 1 below part 2 really is just because it takes a little, you know, I mean, I say it takes a little bit to get into it. We don't actually see the Cybermen appear with the Doctor until the end of the episode. Very good cliffhanger, you know, he's surrounded by Cybermen. It's very, very good. We think they're about to kill him. You know, it's a good episode. I personally think part 2, which we will get to in a second, is just the better part, but I mean, I don't know, part 1 is still pretty good, and I mean, they're the Cybermen, so what can you say? Number 7. The Age of Steel. Alright, so now we have the second part of the Cyberman 2-parter. The Age of Steel I think is quite a lot better than the first part. Of course, this is where we really get into the nitty gritty of the Doctor battling the Cybermen once again. It's been a long time since the classic series when we last saw them, so it's pretty damn cool. There's some great moments in this part. You know, for example, the Doctor and, I can't remember her name, but the woman going through kind of the tombs where there's all them Cybermen. That's a really, really creepy, scary part when they find that Cyberman, and you know, he shouts it with his sonic screwdriver, and it's starting to feel emotions again. That is a really good moment. And also, you can't forget the bit where Mickey saves the day, basically, and you know, when he at the end decides to go off in this parallel world and leave the Doctor and Rose behind. Really, really good part, really good episode. Number 6. The Girl in the Fireplace. Alright, so this is a Stephen Moffat story. It was Stephen Moffat's second ever story for Doctor Who, and it was a pretty good one. I think personally this is probably my least favourite of Stephen Moffat's episodes while in the Russell T Davies era. However, that's not to say it's a good episode, because it is a really good episode. He had some great episodes in this era. Basically, the Girl in the Fireplace, the Doctor, Rose and Mickey as well, go aboard the SS Madame de Pompadour, and they find Madame de Pompadour, and there's this weird kind of parallel thing between the ship, which is in the year God knows what, pretty bloody far away year, and the Madame de Pompadour, which is a very, very old, it's just a very old, it's very old, way down in the past, and I think it's just a really cool thing. We have the clockwork robots, which I think are great. Altogether, Girl in the Fireplace, great story. Number 5. Army of Ghosts. Alright, so this is actually switched around a bit from when I did my top 10 10th Doctor episodes video a while ago. This would have been actually a little bit higher up. However, it's actually fallen down a little bit. Army of Ghosts is the first part of the 2-part finale. We basically get the Doctor finding out about Torchwood, which is a very big thing. I mean, you know, we got hints about Torchwood ever since Tooth and Claw, and you know, we kept getting hints all the way through series 2, and we finally do meet Torchwood in this episode, and we kind of figure out that they're doing this weird thing where they're bringing these ghosts. These ghosts have started coming, and they have these ghost shifts where people supposedly get to meet their dead relatives and family members and stuff. Then we ended up finding out that it's actually the Cybermen coming through, basically through the parallel world, and we also have the big cliffhanger at the end of the Daleks. It's pretty good. Number 4. Doomsday. Yeah, so this is the second part of the finale. This is the final episode of series 2. Once again, like I said, this would have probably been up in 3rd place about 6 months ago, but I decided recently that I was actually going to take it down a spot for a couple of reasons. One reason is just because the episode that I have next, it just kind of interests me more nowadays for some reason. I just started liking it more. But also, the whole battle with the Daleks and the Cybermen, for me, it still feels a bit weird, and it always does every time I look back on it. You know, I mean, the Daleks don't really even take a dent in this war. It kind of puts the Cybermen to shame. Now, I know the Daleks would destroy the Cybermen in a war, but the fact that the Cybermen don't even put a dent on the Daleks, even with the Doctor like helping the Cybermen basically, It does bug me a bit, however still some great action sequences and a pretty good finale. Number 3. School Reunion. Yeah, this is the episode that I was talking about that has moved up a couple of places, basically just overtaking the 2-part finale. I absolutely love School Reunion. I think I love it more every time on rewatch. Basically, it's only the 3rd episode in Series 3, I think, just coming after Tooth and Claw, and it's just a really good episode. You know, we get the reintroduction of Sarah Jane Smith, which is amazing. You know, I haven't watched a lot of classic Doctor Who. I've watched quite a bit, but I definitely haven't watched all of it. I probably haven't watched half of it. I definitely haven't watched half of it. But Sarah Jane Smith is definitely the companion I know the most from the classic series. So it's awesome seeing her in new Doctor Who as well. And also having K9 there. I mean, K9's amazing. How can you not like K9? Having Mickey along for the ride as well, I thought was pretty cool. I thought the Krillitane were a pretty cool villain. I loved the bad guy, Mr. whatever his name was. I can't remember. Altogether, a really good episode. Number 2. The Impossible Planet. Yes, if you saw my top 10 10th Doctor episodes video, you will know that the Ood 2-parter from Series 2 is my favourite Doctor Who, well, 10th Doctor story of all time, if not my favourite Doctor Who story of all time, to be honest. I don't know, maybe The Empty Child might take that place, but it's a pretty good 2-parter, and to be honest, I think a little bit underrated. I mean, I think altogether the Ood 2-parter is praised, The Impossible Planet being one of them. You know, the first part of it, I think it is praised, but not quite as much as I would think. I just absolutely love it. I mean, you know, we get the introduction of Toby Zed and all the stuff that's happening with him with the Beast. We don't actually see the Beast in this part, that's for part 2, but we realise something's going on, the Ood are going crazy. I think The Impossible Planet is a great start to an amazing 2-part story. Number 1. The Satan Pit. Yes, of course, it is the second part of the Ood 2-parter in first place. It was pretty hard for me to decide which part to go first in this one, but I think on the most part, you know, the second parts are always the more interesting ones usually. They have a bit more action going on, so I kind of decided to do it that way. Obviously, we have the introduction of the Beast in this one. We find out what is at the bottom of that hole that the Doctor ends up going down. You know, he falls down, he cracks his helmet. That's a really great scene. I can't remember, is that in this episode or is that in the one before? I can't remember. I think that he finds the hole in the Impossible Planet, but he goes down it in the Satan Pit. We definitely get the introduction of the Beast here anyway. We have more crazy Ood going mad. And then, you know, when Rose and the others manage to get away in the rocket, we end up having Toby going crazy, and Rose ejects him out of the ship. It's a great moment. The Doctor tows them to safety from the black hole. It's a really good episode. Alright, so there we have it. That is my episode ranking for Series 2 of Doctor Who. What is your ranking? What episodes do you love in Series 2, or what episodes do you not really like? This video is quite a lot longer than usual, and you know, I'm going to be doing these for every series apart from Series 1, because how I said, you know, when I said it in the beginning of this video. But yeah, we're going to do Series 3 next. We're going to work our way all the way up to Series 10, and then beyond when, you know, Doctor Who comes out more in the future. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.